Good evening.
This is Ian and Jane, and this is our final review of Edinburgh Fringe 2024.
Yeah, so we've done, this is day 12.
Yeah.
We've seen, I think, over 40 shows down there. I'll count them up at some point. But
yeah, so
it's tinged with sadness, not for the review, but for the fact that we'll be going home tomorrow. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So this was called, Ian's going to read it out, but it was called Wonderin Why, How Slade's Drummer Survived.
I mean, the Wondering Why seems, it's spelt.
Well, I think it's a play on the fact that how Slade, you know, some of their song titles was, you know, Cos was C-O-Z.
But certainly if you put Slade into the Edinburgh Fringe webpage or the app, it comes up with the actual, you know, you'll be able to find it because it's the only show on the Fringe that involves Slade. So, and obviously it's a true story because it's in the summer of 1973, Slade drummer Don Powell was involved in a devastating car accident which instantly killed his girlfriend and left him with brain injury that resulted in severe and lasting memory loss. Wondering Why tells the story of how a 26-year-old man at the height of the band's fame fought courageously to get back behind his drum kit and rebuild his life. This is a gripping, emotional and uplifting solo performance by writer-actor Ian Pace, who worked closely with Don Powell to create... I didn't know that, actually, I hadn't read that. Worked closely with Don Powell to create the story. So we know it's true.
Well, that's interesting because that isn't...
Is that not in there?
No. No. And I'm just going to see if that's in the main one as well.
Yeah. So all we had on stage was a drum stool, a snare and a pair of drumsticks, really. And it was just a black stage.
Everything's going well for Slade. 17 consecutive top 20 hits and 6 number ones. It's fantastic. In July of that year, they play in front of 18,000 people at Earl's Court. Don Powell, lost in a dream of nothingness, now stares at a blank wall and strange machinery. None of this makes sense.
Hi people, Don Powell here. I just want to make you aware of this incredible play that Ian Pearce has written called Wondering Why. It's about the problem I've had with amnesia since that horrendous car accident I had in 1973.
We better get somebody in. We can't do it without Don. It's just for the 2 shows, Noddy. Well, are you thinking of getting in? Ginger Baker, Ringo Starr, Keith Moon. We're a family. We come as a 4 with Slade. It ain't going to work.
And Ian came out and played all the characters. And I thought that, I mean, I remember it happening because I was a Slade fan. So, I couldn't have told you, the fact he'd driven his Bentley into a wall, and that's exactly what happened. I'd forgotten that, but I knew he'd had a devastating accident, and it took him some time to come back, because I remember from interviews of seeing him and actually seeing him in Slade in Flame, which is a really good film to see, actually, about the music business. And I remember being quite pleased that Don he seemed like his old self to some extent. Okay. I remember that. That's the film. I thought it was a fantastic piece, really, how he played all the characters.
It was quite illuminating, actually.
You know, and the thing I took away from it, not giving too much away with that, because we want you to actually come and see it rather than relay the ins and outs of the whole piece, was the thing I got from it, how, you know, the members of Slade, the 4 members and the roadies, because, you know, there's those bits as well, they were a gang, they were mates, they were a family, and, you know, and obviously
really supportive.
Really supportive, but he did come back too early because he did an American tour which he found very difficult. And I don't really want to say too much about that, but obviously he really was able to portray all of them as mates. You know, they were mates first, rather than just being rock stars. They were just ordinary lads who happened to become really famous and have this massive career, pop career as a pop group. You know, and that really did come across. You know,
and I think, you know, all the people in the audience were all of a certain age.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
That, you know, they watched Top of the Pops in the early 70s. You know, as we did. And, you know, so some of the stories related to pop stars of the time, you know, which brought back lots of memories and it made you smile. And also because when he did the voices, I mean,
Noddy's voice was great.
Noddy's voice.
And actually Dave Hill as well.
Was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether he is from Wolverhampton, but those Wolverhampton... but he actually, I can't remember what, because Chaz Chandler was their manager. I can't remember whether he was Welsh, but I thought he sounded Welsh.
Yeah, no, I couldn't tell you about.
No. But anyway, I thought certainly the band voices that he did, you knew who he was, which character he was when he spoke. You know, and I thought it was a fantastic piece, really, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it really brought, you know, because we all remember it. I mean, obviously, in varying degrees of sort of detail, but it was, you know, something that we were all aware had happened, and he brought it to life.
He did really bring it to life.
He really did, and I mean the fact that it's just him. Yeah,
on stage. with just a snare drum, and I have to say, when he hit the snare drum, it was really loud. I mean, I know what a snare drum sound, you know. I know how loud a snare drum can be, but he did really hit it, actually. You know, there was a bit where he was actually playing, where Don was trying to get he started playing again after his injuries. You know, but what I didn't realise as well was when he did the tour, he was actually still on crutches. So, and the roadies were helping him on stage with his crutches behind the kit, and then he would play for 2 hours a night or whatever it was. Which was, you know, that's a phenomenal feat, really. You know?
So it was really interesting. And as we came out, there was somebody, I don't know, did he have a space lanyard on? Anyway, he was just filming, asking people their reactions to the production. And
he was part of this team.
And just as we went past one of the gentlemen, he was just saying that he'd found it really interesting and that he'd learnt things that he didn't know. That was the only piece I caught. So, I mean, it, you know, sort of similar reaction to us.
I mean, certainly, I mean, even if you don't know anything about Slade, if you're too young... and actually, the other good thing is we have little snippets of the music.
Yes.
And actually, that really helps to put it in context. They're only snippets, but, you know...
it was good to have those.
It was good to have those because you can hear them, and you can hear when the drums come in and all that, and because they talk about the song they were trying to record straight after the single they were trying to record straight after he'd had his injuries and when he was trying to recover, and so we had a bit about that, and then we got to hear a bit of it, which was actually I thought was really those bits were lovely, actually.
It's been really, you know, thought out. Very well put together.
How many stars?
Oh, a good 4 from me.
I think it's a good 4 from me too, actually. I'd say, I'll tell you exactly when it's on and how long it's on for. It's another show that's on until the 17th, so it's here for this week. It's 12 plus. There is brief mention of brain surgery and discussions of memory loss. That's the warnings on it. 50 minutes in total, 6:30 every evening, and the prices are £12 full price, £10 concession, and £5 for the family. But check the family thing because I think that's per person. But I'm not quite sure about that. We've never really worked out what that is. And it is different for different shows. It's fantastic, So Thanks so much for watching. You can check all the other stuff down there. There will be more videos coming from us when we're back home. We will do a roundup video of the shows that we wanted to see, probably later towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
And then at the weekend we will do our top 10.
Oh, which is always difficult.
Yeah, I think we'll have to pick 10 each and then pick the top 10 out of those 10. Anyway, yeah, it is always difficult, but we will pick our top 10 Fringe shows that we saw.
Okay.
So there'll be those 2 videos to come later on in the week.
Okay.
Okay, so thanks so much for watching.
Cheers.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.